What's up, homies? Welcome to another episode of the Homeys Real Estate Podcast. This is your host, Anthony. Unfortunately, Angel's not with us today, but we got some big news. Angel just had his first kid, his son, named Silas. So you know what that means. Yo boy is now an uncle. Yup. My family's excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to spoil my little nephew Silas. So congratulations again to Angel, to his fiance Cynthia, and my new little nephew Silas. So I'm going to go ahead and be handling this podcast on my own. And I got a really good one. It's a question I get a lot. Is this fall a good time to buy or not? Or should I wait? So I'm going to answer it with 5 answers. Okay, so 5 reasons why this fall is a good time to buy. And if you're listening to this podcast, I really recommend watching it on YouTube or on any form of social media. I mean, we're on everything: TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so forth, because we're going to show some charts. And I think it's easier to digest when you can see the charts for yourself. Okay, and this one's going to be a very chart intensive podcast. So I really want you guys to follow. Alrighty, so homies, the number one reason, or I guess the first reason that this fall is a good time to buy, is that prices start to drop. Yup. Prices are the lowest of the year in December. And you can see that here in Los Angeles County, right? So in December and January, prices are the lowest. So they peak in the summer, June, July, August, and they start to slowly retreat back. And then it's just this wave, right? Where it's just going up. But it always tends to be the lowest in January and December. And you can see the same thing for Orange County as well, right? So this is a really good reason why it's a good time to buy, because prices are starting to drop. Number 2 reason that it's a good time to buy is that there is still a decent amount of active listings, right? It's that sweet spot, because very much like prices start to drop in the winter, so do the amount of active listings, right? And you can see it's a pretty significant drop off from, the peak June, July, August months to December, right? So you'll see like it almost looks like hills, right? And the same thing for Orange County as well. So fall tends to be that sweet spot where no, there's not a bunch of options, but no, there also isn't any options, right? It's the middle ground where, prices are starting to drop, but there's still a decent amount of options for you. So I really like this sweet spot in fall, especially if you find yourself as a more particular buyer and you're looking for specific things in a home. Okay. The number 3 reason that I think this fall is a really good time to buy is that you have more time to think about it. Because I know purchasing a home is a humongous purchase, and it takes time to figure out whether you want to put an offer or not. You don't want to be rushed into the process, right? And in the summer, like, goodness gracious, homes fly off the market like hotcakes. Like, it's crazy. You really have a couple days to see a property and a couple days for negotiation, and bam, it's off the market, right? Whereas in the winter, right, because there are less buyers, because there's less competition, homes sit on the market a little bit longer. So as you can see, this median days on market in Los Angeles County, it starts to peak, right? The most days on market in January, right? So we get this little, like, the seasonality of real estate, right? So because, the summer homes sell the fastest, and fall homes are starting to trend up to more median days on market, you do have more time to think about it as opposed to what it would be in the summer. So this is another good reason that I think it's a really good time to purchase in the fall. Now, another reason I think it's a good time to purchase this fall is that mortgage rates are rising. Yes, you heard that correctly. Mortgage rates are on the rise, and they are projected to increase quite a bit by Q2 of next year. So here's a chart that I have from Keeping Current Matters, right? It's this real estate agency that puts out information about the real estate market, and they kind of put a combination of Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors, and their projections of what interest rates will be by Q2 of next year, right? So by April of next year, what are interest rates going to be? Right now, as we speak, interest rates are about 2.88%, so under 3%. Tremendous rates. I mean, historically low rates. But by Q2 of 2022, Freddie Mac is supposed to have an interest rate of about 3.6%. So that's almost a point or over a 0.7% increase. Fannie Mae should have an interest rate of 3%. So it's about a 0.12% increase. And the Mortgage Bankers Association projects 3.7%. So that's almost a 0.8% increase, right? And the National Association of Realtors projects 3.5%. So that's over 0.6% interest. So I mean, all in all, they're projecting like at least 0.5% increase, and that's pretty high. That's a lot. That's gonna make a difference into how much you qualify for and how much your mortgage payment is going to be. So I kind of want to break it down. What would interest rates look like Q2 of next year for, or I guess what would your mortgage payment look like for Q2 of next year given the projected interest rates, right? So I kind of broke it down into a mortgage calculator here, right? So I'm taking a mortgage amount of $700,000. With the 2.88% interest rate we have right now and a 30-year mortgage, we're just talking principal and interest only. And again, it's a $700,000 mortgage amount, not the purchase price, the mortgage for the purchase. Your payment is going to be $2,906, principal and interest. Now, let's just say we're going to take 3.5% because we do have, the Mortgage Bankers Association projecting 3.7, National Association of Realtors projecting 3.5, Freddie Mac projecting 3.6. So we're just going to take 3.5, the lowest of those three. Okay, and we're going to throw it into the same mortgage calculator for a $700,000 mortgage amount over 30 years. And instead of a payment being $2,906, what it is right now, your payment is going to be $3,143. That's about an increase of $250 a month. That's crazy. That's a lot more, right? Just because interest rates increase, about 0.6%. So that's why I think it's a really good time to purchase now. And again, if you're pre-qualified for $700,000 maximum loan amount, then and the maximum monthly payment that you're qualified for is $2,906. Then given that 3.5% interest rate, the maximum mortgage amount that you're going to qualify for is now $647,000, right? So not only is your payment more expensive, but if you want to qualify for more, or if that's your max qualification, $700,000 right now, your max qualification then with a 3.5 interest rate is now going to be $647,000. So a difference of about $50,000. Right? And that doesn't even take into consideration, home prices increasing, because by April or March of next year, there is a pretty high chance that prices are going to be higher than what they are now, right? So there's a lot of good reasons that purchasing now, taking advantage of these low interest rates now, the prices now, is a good idea as opposed to waiting until next year. Now, the last reason that I think it's a good time to buy this fall is that you have a better chance to get a good deal. Think about it. Sellers typically put their homes on the market in the summer because they know, hey, this is the prime time of the year. This is when most buyers are looking. This is when homes sell the fastest. This is when I can get the highest return for my home, right? Sell my home for the most. But, and I know it's rare because homes are selling really quickly, but if you find some homes that have been sitting on the market for quite some time, right? And they weren't able to get snatched off the market in this hot real estate market in the summer, then chances are they're going to be willing to negotiate, right? And they're going to be serious about negotiating because they missed that window. They thought their home was going to sell in the prime time peak season and it didn't, right? And with less competition, because we know that there's less buyers looking typically in the fall because of the holidays and everything going on, and they want to take that break or they're going back to school, you have much less competition and you have a much better chance to get a good deal for a home. And again, I'm not saying every home is going to be like this, right? Because again, most of these homes are going to be selling and selling quick. But there are going to be those occasional homes that have been sitting on the market 30 plus days that you might be able to get a good deal for. So again, for these 5 reasons, I project that it's a good time to buy now as opposed to waiting. Number 1 is that prices start to drop. Prices are less than what they are in the summer. Number 2 is the sweet spot for available listings, because we don't have a little bit like we would typically have in the winter. We don't have a lot like we typically have in the summer. So it's a good sweet middle ground. Number 3 is that you have more time to think about it, because median days on market does start to increase as you approach winter, right? So you're going to have more time to think about it as opposed to the summer. Number 4 is that mortgage rates are increasing. And by Q2 of next year, they're going to be up at least 0.5% according to multiple sources. Number 5 is that you have a better chance of getting a good deal because sellers are going to want to negotiate, especially if their home didn't sell during peak seasons of the summer. So, homies, I hope this gives you a pretty good idea of the real estate market, why I believe it's a good time to buy this fall. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Again, watch this podcast on YouTube or from any form of social media so you can see the charts for yourself. And as always, take care and stay safe. Hey homies, it's Anthony. This podcast contains my opinions and is for educational purposes only. It does not guarantee any projections and should not serve as a basis for any purchase or sale in real estate.